It's hard for people because of their thoughts. It's hard for people because of their mindset and the resistance that they're feeling. And the reason why it doesn't feel easy and flowy is because purely it is about your internal experience and how you are experiencing the action. You're listening to the From Imposter to Empowered podcast. I'm your host, Jill Perrick, a business and mindset coach who specializes in imposter syndrome. If you feel like you're not as smart, capable, or worthy as you actually are, and that someone is going to find you out, then you've come to the right place. I went from being a struggling government worker, working my coaching business on the side, but feeling unworthy and burnt out, to making multiple six figures helping women overcome imposter syndrome so they too can sign clients, make bank, and have the business or career of their dreams. I am nothing special. I have a stuttering disability, ADHD, and I struggle with anxiety and depression. So if I can learn how to feel good enough and overcome my inner imposter, then so can you. Let's dig in. Hey y'all, what is up? So happy to be here with you today to talk about how running your business is going to be all ease and flowy vibes when ... That's the title of today's episode, because ease and flow, oh my god, if I had $1 for every time I fucking heard that, especially in like 2021 and 2022, I would be a fucking millionaire strictly from that. This really had people in a fucking chokehold. This idea of things being easy and flowy in your business and how it gets to be so easy. And during the pandemic, a lot of people were staying home from their jobs. They were able to start businesses. A lot of people went really hard in growing their businesses and showing up online. It really burnt them out. I actually coach people all the time who come from that. They were really successful because they were doing the work and getting shit done, but they didn't have the right balance between their mindset and what they were doing. They weren't super aligned in the things that they were doing, and they ended up burning out. And I was definitely one of those people. I experienced ADHD burnout though. I kind of burnt out after I left my full-time job. I got diagnosed with ADHD in the same year, just a couple of months later, and I had a really hard time just getting shit done. Like I really had that executive dysfunction thing going on where like it was very hard to pull myself out of bed and get shit done. I did the bare minimum of showing up and selling, and then I would literally spend the rest of the day in bed, right? Like there was a long time period where I didn't create anything new. I didn't have any courses. I literally just sold my high ticket coaching, and it worked. It was still great, but I spent a lot of the time in my bed resting and coming off of that burnout, and I learned so much from it. And there's this big debate online. Can you have a very easy and flowy business? Like, is that even fucking possible? And I believe you can, but not in the way that you might traditionally think. It's so funny because I work hard. I put a lot of work into the business, but I also have a very slow, spacious, and expansive life. Like I have a lot of empty days where I'll get up and go to yoga and Pilates, and I'll come home, I'll have my coffee, I'll do an hour on my walking pad, go in the sauna, right? I'll do some content in between that. I'll potentially have like a call or two a day, like maybe once a week kind of vibe. But I never have more calls than 2 a day. And a lot of the time, I don't have any because we do a lot of our work in Telegram and Slack for my offers, and it's just really nice and really spacious. But that doesn't mean that I'm not working hard. And I think where people get fucked up is that they believe that everything is supposed to be resistance free. Like everything they're doing is supposed to be free of struggle, resistance, hardship. And it's so funny because that's just not the case at all, especially as an entrepreneur. You're going to be hitting up against your growth like several times a fucking day, honestly. Like I have 2 examples for my clients in the From Imposter to Empowered program, which is my program to help you launch your business, sell your offers with confidence, get over the mindset BS like imposter syndrome, self-doubt, and fear holding you back from having a successful online business. And these 2 clients that I'm about to tell you about really help drive this home. So this concept of like, how can things be easy? So the first client was talking about how for the longest time it was so uncomfortable for her to show up online, do Instagram lives, show her face on stories, sell her offers, right? It was very hard for her. But as she worked on it and we worked on it together, it became so easy for her. She was able to silence her inner critic when she showed up online. She sells now every single day. She shows up effortlessly. She does Instagram lives like that, right? And that's because she developed that skill. She really developed it. And then we were having a conversation in Slack recently, and she was saying how she's feeling resistance when she's thinking about creating courses and developing her curriculum for one of her programs, right? She's feeling very resistant to it. And all I said was, the resistance and the discomfort just moved into something else. You already have the evidence that this is going to become easier the more you do it, right? It's not that going live and creating content suddenly became easier for every human in the world. It became easier for her because she was able to remove the resistance and improve her internal experience with the actions that she was taking, right? Like, it's not just about, okay, you have to do the Instagram live and here are the things you're going to say. How do you feel when you hit go live, right? Like, are you shaking? Are you awkward? Are you nervous? Like, that's where the confidence work comes in. That's where the mindset work comes in, right? Because it will change everything about the strategy that you're taking. And it's never about the actual action being objectively hard, right? It's never about the strategy being difficult. The strategy is the easiest fucking part. It's about executing on the strategy, right? And if it was easy, everybody would be fucking doing it, okay? Like, everybody on the online space would be millionaires, but that's just not the case. And it's hard for people because of their thoughts. It's hard for people because of their mindset and the resistance that they're feeling. And the reason why it doesn't feel easy and flowy is because purely it is about your internal experience and how you are experiencing the action. I had another client in the From Imposter to Empowered program who was saying creating content and showing up just feels like such a chore. Like, it feels so hard. I hate how hard it feels. I just need it to feel flowy and abundant. I want to have fun. And I was like, first of all, work doesn't always feel like fun, right? But the work that we get to do helps bring us to the fun parts. Like, creating the content and showing up online isn't necessarily my favorite thing about my work. Sometimes it is. Sometimes when I'm in my fucking ovulation phase, and by the way, when I'm recording this, I'm in my luteal phase and I'm questioning why the fuck I would choose to record in my luteal phase, but we gotta get shit done. But if I'm ovulating, if I'm feeling fucking good, like, I sometimes have a great time updating Instagram and my threads and all that shit. I feel on fire, but sometimes I don't. And it's not a problem because I know that it leads me to the fun part, which is seeing the fucking Stripe deposits hit my account, hanging out with my clients on calls, helping them with their content, their sales pages, their mindset. I'm doing years of negative self-talk and changing their self-concept so they can see themselves as someone that people really want to pay high ticket for. Like, that shit is fun. It's really fun, but it's not fun all the time to create content. But that's just how I'm going to get to the fun part. And I can zoom out and see that from that perspective. Again, we talked about changing this particular client's internal experience with the things that she's doing, allowing things to feel easy and flowy, and working on creating that experience inside of her when she's doing tasks that she would have categorized before as boring, full of resistance, etc. Like, I always say, whenever I had to do my taxes before I had a bookkeeper, which I do now, I would sit there for hours. I'd light a fucking candle, get a fancy drink or a fancy coffee, and sit there and organize all of my tax receipts. I would throw on some music or a podcast, and I would create an experience where it wasn't totally unenjoyable to do this thing, right? I love habit stacking, so I would like listen to a self-talk track when I'm in the sauna. While I'm doing my taxes, I'll listen to a podcast. While I'm eating after being at the gym, I'll listen to a podcast, right? And sometimes it's related to business, sometimes it's not, but like, you can create an enjoyable experience for yourself with whatever task that you're doing. So even though, yeah, it was like monotonous and annoying to have to do my taxes myself, and like, I had a lot of fucking tax receipts because I'm a bitch that likes to invest in herself, it's not necessarily fun, but I had to make a way for it to be fun. And ease is earned. Ease is something that you have to work on. It's just like working out. As you get stronger, more flexible, etc., a lot of the moves you're doing, whether it's in weightlifting or Pilates, yoga, they all start to become easier the more you do them, the more you practice. Like, I'm really starting to notice my flexibility because of hot yoga, right? And there are things that I can do now that I couldn't do 7 months ago. Wink, wink, you know what I'm saying? Anyways, but you are a business owner. Like, you are a fucking entrepreneur. It's not going to be easy for you to run your business. There is going to be resistance. And like, I honestly feel like people have been lied to because other people wanted to sell services that are like, things get to be easy. And it's like, yeah, it's easy because you have systems. It's easy because you have an OBM, but ease is earned. And for things to feel easy and flowy, anybody could have an experience, whether it's showing up online and selling an offer or like writing an email sequence. Those things can feel easy or they can feel hard, and it really depends on the internal experience of the person doing the thing. If you don't want to be doing it, so if you're going to say, well, I'll take this part of being a business owner, but not this part, you're going to sacrifice the amount of money that you can make. You are constantly going to be chasing a certain version of yourself who's like, yep, I can do this, because that is a fucking CEO. You're doing it all. You are becoming the person who can do it all. And I'm not saying you should do it all, especially at a certain point in your business. Like, I have an OBM, I've offloaded a lot of tasks that I don't need to be doing, but I could do them. And I would. And if I don't know how to do them, and if I don't know how to do something, it's not like, oh, well, I'm fucked. Like, I learn how to do it or hire somebody to do it for me and figure it the fuck out. It does not excite me to think about doing funnels, writing emails, stuff like that, but I know that that's what it takes. And when somebody upgrades from my membership into my 30-day content challenge into my group program, because I set up the funnel in that way, it's so rewarding. It's like, I never would have thought that I could do something like this, right? Even though it was uncomfortable doing those things, it's so rewarding when you see the results. The truth about ease and flow in business is that it is earned. It is something that you build upon. It's an internal experience. As always, it's the same thing as having an identity of someone who's going to be paid $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 per person a month, right? You don't just start there at like $3,000 a month client, right? A lot of the time you have to build your identity up to get there, to build your influence and authority up to get there. And the same thing goes for your discomfort around doing certain things in your business. The resistance is there because things can be hard. It doesn't mean that you're doing something wrong. It doesn't mean that it's not aligned. You're just a fucking business owner and you're way more capable than you realize. We can do hard things, okay? And if you stop being in your head so much, stop giving in to your inner critic so much and just fucking got things done without trying to create stories of all the thoughts you're having as you're doing it, you would see more results and you would get more results. You would be able to get more things done if you just accepted that discomfort and resistance are there, but they don't have to be a problem. The more you do it, the more you become comfortable with it. Then that thing is going to be easier, and then you're going to move on and something else is going to be harder. You're going to be avoiding something else and self-sabotaging something else, and then you're going to be aware of the self-sabotage and be like, fuck, I'm just not doing that because it's not easy. It's actually kind of hard and I'm uncomfortable again. And the cycle will start all over again, but you become more aware of it as you go on, as you make more money, as you grow your business. You start to be able to clock, oh, I'm going to be uncomfortable with this. How can I get in front of that now? And then you move with such a faster speed than ever before. You get more things done. You do more. It's not that things are easier for me than they are for you. It's that I don't give a fuck if they're hard. And it's not that things are easier for people who are making more money than what you're making. They just also don't give a fuck and do the thing anyways. And 2025 is the year of giving fewer fucks and making more money. And that's what you're going to do when you come to work with me inside of the From Imposter to Empowered program. That's where you're going to launch your business for realsies, get over your mindset shit, learn how to sell your offers with confidence and clear messaging, and bring in 5K to 10K a month with your mid-ticket and high-ticket offers. Or if you're on your way to making 10K plus a month, that is your next goal, to go to 10K, 15K, 20K. You're going to want more close proximity support, and that's inside of the Real Deal Mastermind. So both of those links are at the link in my show notes, and you can also send me a DM at your coach Jill. We can figure out which container is the best for you. And also, if you want a little taste of the From Imposter to Empowered program, you can purchase Hot Girl offers for only $149, which have trainings from the From Imposter to Empowered program. And these trainings will help you create offers that are profitable, that your potential client wants. You'll know exactly what to charge for them and actually feel confident in what you want to charge. And that is also at the link in my show notes. Okay, I love you guys so much. I'll see you next week. Hey babe, thank you so much for listening to this episode. Screenshot it and put it on your stories and tag me at your coach Jill. And if you really love me, you'll rate and review the podcast. And if you screenshot it before you submit the review and send it to me, I will send you a free gift on me. If you want to take this work deeper, come and work with me in the From Imposter to Empowered program or the Real Deal Mastermind. And finally, if you want just a snippet of my work to feel what it's like to be in my world, then you need to buy my best-selling book, You're Not Special, and you can get that on Amazon. I love you guys so much, and I'll see you next week.